How you doing? I'm Michael Bell, the voice of Duke.
Hi, this is Adrienne Palicki, Lady J from G.I. Joe.
Hey there, it's Rachel Nichols, aka Scarlet.
And if you're listening,
And you're listening to
And you are listening to Anything Joe's, a collaborative journey through the world of G.I. Joe with Greg and Jaren.
Yo Joe!
Got my G.I. Joes, got my comic books, watching cartoon episodes. Watch me go and box, dead stop, Jaren on his toes. Watch me go and lock a whole new world you never know. On my freaking block, on my block, anything Joe's. Roll my badger into work today. Yes sir, no sir, I can't call this work today. I'm too clutch, ain't no pun intended. Call me sir today. Check the prices out, my collection feeling bird today. Anything Joe, 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 Joe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Anything Joe's, a collaborative journey through the world of G.I. Joe. My name is Greg Engel,
And I'm Jaren Decker.
and we'll be your host today. Today on Anything Joe's, we're finally here. The road to the G.I. Joe movie has begun. I think it is an essential part of the G.I. Joe experience that Jaren finally kind of understands the origins of Serpentor. So I put it to you, the audience, to determine how exactly his first influence would be. And with a pretty resounding vote, the cartoon won. It was very close on Twitter, but Instagram, you guys are really cartoon fanatics, I guess, because it won by a mile. It won by enough that I was prepping this episode well before the poll was over. I'll say that. So that's what we're going to go with. We'll look at the comic book also because I think it's important to see both perspectives. But for initial purposes, and which actually kind of makes a lot of sense, Sharon, when I think about it, because we're going to watch the movie, it makes kind of more sense that you understand the Serpentor of the cartoon universe first. And it's not substantially different. The cartoon Serpentor has some quirks that define him that we'll see. But he's not a substantially different character, partially because he doesn't get a ton of use. He comes and goes a lot. But he's awesome for many, many reasons that you'll see. Now, the episode that we're going to watch, Arise Serpentor, Arise Part 1, doesn't have Serpentor in it, shockingly. As a matter of fact, the first few episodes are devoid of any Serpentor because they're still making him. But that's okay because we've jumped into the second season, and with the second season comes a new line of toys, and with the new line of toys comes the forced bombardment of your need for those characters. So you're going to see right away an onslaught of, almost an entirely different team than what we were used to. So,
All right.
with that in mind, let's put our DNA goggles on and begin Arise Serpentor Arise Part 1, Season 2, Episode 1. Completely new opening, which I'm thankful for.
Got the triple T in there now.
Yeah,
Means
Triple
we
T.
got Sarge.
There's Sarge.
There's that boy.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, I know we're going to see this a million times, but there is some time to talk about.
Who's that on the golden thing flying?
Just you wait, mister. I want to talk about this super cool Cobra base that has the Terror
That
Drone
is
built
actually
into
very
it
cool.
and the big Cobra hood. Just before that, there's like a Cobra battle bunker. Obviously, there's a bunch of Cobra stuns. We've got Vipers now out in, that's the new definitive infantry force. And bats, we're going to see a lot of bats.
So wait, so they show him in the intro,
Yeah,
but he's not been revealed yet.
Well, it's they got to use it for the next 40 plus episodes. They certainly weren't going to do it a second time.
So all the kids are just like, "Who's that?" Well, you'll find out.
That are luring you in. You got to stay tuned to figure out this man that can be defeated with a single net.
Yeah.
There's our bat.
Ah, the red visored bat, like the Super 7 one.
Yep. The bad guy roster hasn't changed quite as much because they simply don't make them as much as they made Joe's. So we still see a lot of the usuals. Roadblock's upgraded to his V2 outfit.
Yeah.
Story about Buzz Dixon.
Andy's.
Teleplay by Ron Friedman.
Dear Sally, your last letter really wounded my heart. A Joe's supposed to be alert, shipwreck. If a
So there's
pipe
Hawk,
can beam you
already in a V2. Didn't even show up as a V1.
Weren't you a little soft on him, General Hawk?
All the guys have seen a lot of combat lately, Beachhead. They deserve some R&R. Next time we're
Two-seater hiss.
I mean, yeah, anybody's guess.
that'll be the safest place.
Wow, that's impressive, and it was spelled correctly. This is a pretty classic G.I. Joe moment. It's the hey, we're better than you guys. We're the new figures. You guys are old and outdated, and now this happens in the comic too, where they come in and they're like, here's our papers, we're your replacements. Like they're like, you guys think those figures are cool? You get lost. You got to buy these figures now available at your local stores.
You guys think that your military guys are cool? Check out this guy. He's all sci-fi. Actually, that's his name.
Great. I mean, it's actually a great pairing. It's like, oh, do you like science fiction? You've seen Star Wars? We got that dude. Oh, or you want an actual military night ops guy? We've got that guy too. Both, long range shooters.
Huh, looks like something's missing on his hat.
Maybe not on his belt buckle though. I wouldn't hold my breath. The Dukes of Hazzard was probably still airing at this time, so.
But you aren't Beachhead. First comes Hawk, then Duke, then me, and
This has been regarded as the official military branch of authority for quite a while. I don't know. There's so many other figures that have rankings. You have to really pull the file cards and be like, what's these guys' actual rank? Because there's a bunch of dudes that are kind of higher ranked than you would expect. But I guess traditionally, this 4-person ensemble is considered the primary leadership team of the Joes. I have never really put Beachhead as the upper management type, but to each their own.
Yeah, well maybe that'll change someday.
Lifeline, hand me the crescent wrench, will you?
No!
Well, why not, for crying
No.
out loud?
Well, because helping you arm a rescue chopper goes against my principles. That's why.
For somebody who's against
Oh, okay.
violence, it sure
Does that
looks
stack
like a
up?
bunch-
It's just a wrench, Lifeline. I'm just pacifism is, that's one thing, even though you're in a weird organization for that to be your whole shtick, but at a certain point, everything you do is helping someone achieve violence, Lifeline, if you trace it far enough back.
I saved your life so that you can go and commit more violence.
Right.
Then
Hang around with.
it's gonna go there.
Listen, G.I. Joe, what's happening to this outfit?
He's fading back to pass. There it goes.
Slipstream.
What are you watching there, bud?
Right? Security footage, sir.
What exquisite timing. The Joes have allowed themselves to become
Just the one green shirt, just
There's
kick back.
Scrap Iron, a dude we do not see very much. Scrap Iron in this series, especially, is very Cobra Commander dedicated for the most part. He's a little bit more of his lackey. There's some motor vipers in the back. We really are. It's quite the smorgasbord of new characters. Dial tone and mainframe.
Playing Asteroids-esque game.
Yeah. It takes a computer that big to play Pong.
You guys think supposed to be monitoring the base perimeter. At Nam, I learned the best way to stay alert on guard duty is to occasionally divert your attention so you
School buses.
Children, arm yourselves. Wow.
What is that, the stun?
That is the stun, yes.
Okay.
Duke, form a unit and hit Cobra's flank. We've got to prevent a
Yes, the Cobra Stun is famously the vehicle that can come apart in the front and then leave itself completely undefended in the middle. Wow, right over. You would have thought it would have fallen right into that ridge.
Why is Cobra Commander
How did they already get out and then also get surrounded?
I don't know.
Maybe old Chrome Dome is running low on.
Hold on.
What gave it away? The fact that they are, it's so, they don't look like robots, buddy. They are, I mean, come on. Those are robots. You can
The
speak
difference is
definitively.
we're allowed to actually shoot these guys.
Yeah, we can blow these guys into pieces. The official Cobra branded binoculars. Alright, now we send in the flesh and blood peoples.
Unwise, Commander.
This is actually kind of a cool shot where they're circling them in a like a what do they call it? It's like a cowboy strategy, right?
Yeah, like circling the wagons.
And circling the wagons, right? But they've only got one pod of the stun leaning out, so they can circle around and that one pod kind of like strafes inwardly. It might be the first time I've seen the stun actually kind of used in a practical way. I actually really like that. Such a small detail when otherwise you see the stun as being kind of a foolhardy design.
It's really excellently choreographed.
Yeah.
In step with the bats.
Who's that I see coming over the hills? It's a man with 1 million kills.
Just run them over.
Triple T looks huge there.
So does he. Sheesh.
This rules.
I love that they're like just in awe. Like, who cares
yeah.
if we're getting shot at?
They're stunned.
Everything stopped. I see what you did there. Oh, this is incredible.
Yeah, this is good fighting right here.
I'm really impressed that they didn't forget which ones they could or could not shoot.
Beachhead takes over the driving position of that stun and is able to use the guns from the driver's seat, which I wouldn't think is how it would be designed, considering the guns themselves are seats, have seats attached to the actual toy. So it's unusual to be like, well, so technically this could be a one-person vehicle. You just could only shoot straight, which is kind of a limitation of the stun anyway. While we're stopped, I do want to talk a little bit about Sergeant Slaughter. When Sergeant Slaughter came out, it was every bit the same as what you're seeing right here. It was billed as bigger than life in every way, that he was an unstoppable machine that could not be messed with. And I loved it. I ate it up as a kid. This example only feeds into how big Sarge was supposed to be. And that doesn't even factor into the fact that he was a real human being that would occasionally come onto the television screen and tell me what was going on. And the movie, especially, I have very fond memories. They divided the movie up into 5 parts, just like this, for television airings. And Sarge would come out at the beginning and recap it, basically. It would really get you amped up. I love Sarge.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, I think Sarge is great. I have told this story before, but I had a friend in high school named Rob, and Rob would always be like, the G.I. Joe that has the biggest biceps is the strongest one. It was like no other thing would come into play. It was literally just who made the biceps larger. And so I would always have to hear about Sergeant Slaughter and Road Pig, 2 of the vintage figures with the largest pure biceps that they had ever examined. I always thought that was pretty funny. I thought Sarge was using his baton there, but first of all, he has 2 of them.
It looks kind of like the Iron Sheik. He had these things called Persian clubs. And then like Bob Backlund, the wrestler, it all same era people, they used them. And they would like swing them around kind of in the same way, but they were really hard to do. Wrestling knowledge? I'm getting there. Getting better.
Sarge's got such a great voice. Like, he's just a natural voice actor also, I feel like. There's another great shot of the Terrordrome. It's like mounted on a cliff. They really leaned into the Terrordrome as the main base, as opposed to the way the toy and the comic build it is that there were lots of Terrordromes. They actually sold the design for the Terrordrome to other third world countries as like an armament, essentially. So, but something we see in the cartoon and in other instances as well, the Terrordrome is like a one-of-one biggest base you've ever flipping seen. All 10,000 troopers live inside it, which I think is cool also, honestly.
I know dollies! The bats were perfect. They would have wiped out G.I. Joe if you had deployed them correctly.
Dr. Mindbender.
First appearance of Dr. Mindbender in the cartoon. So another great added character and essential to this story.
Scrap Iron stands like he's ready to deliver the most sassy one-liner as a comeback.
Interrogator and science officer. There's nothing in your file that classifies you as a military genius.
I have had a strange recurring dream lately.
I like that he was rubbing his eyes just then, which would have pushed that monocle directly into his iris. They label Mindbender as an interrogator here in the cartoon. It's the only time they've ever referred to him as that. It's definitely not his official title, as later on there would be an actual Cobra villain named Interrogator. It's his specific job. So back off, Mindbender. I don't want to get too far into a tangent, but I've always kind of had an issue with Mindbender as the evil scientist guy, because Mindbender's history is actually that he's just a dentist. And he was just fascinated with that level of like messing with people or something, and that led into this. He had an experiment go wrong. He was trying to make I might mess this up, but he was trying to make dental work easier, and instead he designed a sort of low-level brainwave scanner. It zapped him. He became a little crazy as a result. And then he started doing this, which is all very interesting flavor. It's crazy and but also interesting. I love the character of Mindbender, but when you stack him up against somebody like Dr. Venom, I don't think it's quite the same, because Dr. Venom was so much more grounded in practicality. Like Dr. Venom, the actual creator of the brainwave scanner. Anyway, I'm not going to get into a Venom versus Mindbender, because Mindbender's been around much longer and has done much more crazier things. Oh, well, there's a commercial break. I guess I could have just waited 0.3 seconds and said that, and it would have timed us perfectly.
Joe will return after these messages. Now, back to G.I. Joe.
Wow, Sergeant Slaughter single-handedly blew up all those stuff. So, this is something I actually learned recently, but that statement right there where Sarge is like, I got a bad bunch of recruits to train, is actually supposed to be a nod to the Renegades, which are the 3 misfits that Sarge is training in the G.I. Joe animated movie. Coming soon. But I didn't, that's like, I had read online that the teleplay writer Ron Freeman was like, that's what that's supposed to be a nod to, which was very interesting.
But now those are not the 3 of the classifieds that just got leaked, right?
No, not Slaughter's Marauders. These are the Renegades. Sergeant Slaughter's so important, he's got multi-subgroups to lead.
Oh, nice.
Hawk has just told him that his guys are getting pretty lazy and that he needs to come on board and put them in shape, which is normally what Beachhead's job is. Great set design here.
Sick bed.
Yeah, right? The bed, the Cobra bedroom layout is something we do not get to see enough of. The number 9, the number 1.
1 and 8? That equals 9.
Not the division symbol, not square root of, oh my gosh, I just cracked the Da Vinci Code. Mindbender doesn't wear his cape in dreams. He's got to keep it freestyling. This is
Cobra
actually,
Commander and a Christmas tree?
When you're obsessed with G.I. Joe like I am, my dreams are kind of like this too. Mercy is the hallmark of greatness. These chicken soup for the noodle soul quotes, man.
That doesn't sound very Cobra-like.
It doesn't. It's pretty feel good.
Oh no!
What could it mean?
Something familiar about that spiral. I've seen it before.
It's not a double helix.
A vinyl.
He comes out of it thinking he's supposed to be a DJ.
I guess I must follow Leonard Skinner on tour.
His bed's there. That's all that matters.
Good morning, sleepyheads. I'm Sergeant Slaughter. I'm glad to see you got your lazy carcasses out of bed.
He's huge. I love the way they draw him.
You guys are supposed to keep our country safe from Cobra. So starting today, we're gonna fix all that. Give your hearts to America, Joes, because your butts belong to me.
That's incredible.
Great, that's a great line.
Good work, Sergeant. This is just what the Joes need to get motivated.
Happy to hear that, because with all due respect, General Hawk, you're a Joe, and you're gonna join them.
Yes, sir.
Not sure that's how Not sure that's how orders work.
Yeah, I'm
Like
very
me.
sure that if you told any other general that, they'd be like, no.
It'd be like me walking into my job and be like, hey, you're going to run my stuff today. I'm going to kick back. Show me how it's done.
If you're so blasted tough, why don't you prove it? Come
No, you done messed up now, champ.
but make it interesting.
Who is that?
That's a wetsuit.
Okay. I'm not used to him. He doesn't have his full wetsuit.
Very rarely seen without a face mask on, but he's one of many characters that actually gets an appearance thanks to the cartoon.
Did I make my point? Oh, bend those knees. Pick up your aching feet and move, move, move. We've got
You ever see this? I always see stuff like this, and I'm like, oh, they got to run a bunch of miles in the rain. That sucks. And then I'm like, wait a minute. They got to carry their gear. That's disproportionately unfair to people like Roadblock, who's carrying a gigantic gun. Poor Dial Tone has a backpack, you know, before mobile phones. This is what it took. He's got to lug that stuff around. This doesn't, I don't know. Seems like there's a handicap there.
Sci-Fi's gear can't be comfortable.
See, that's what he's like. Con for pizza. There's
love all the photos.
There's 4 framed pictures of Cobra Commander up in this meeting room. That's awesome. Sorry, I got to look at them one by one. Here we've got,
He's got the
arms crossed, standing up.
that
sweat.
second one.
So definitive. Yeah, the second one is like a glamour shot where his legs are crossed. Do I want to take over the world today? Well, let me think on it for just a minute.
He got that one done at Sears. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, number 3 is like, I want to do Walk Like an Egyptian, but I just don't understand the song. And then, yeah, number 4 is like casual on the arm of a chair. That's actually my favorite. Let's get that
That's
one.
his Tinder profile picture.
Yeah.
For sure.
Join Cobra. We got the Riz. Like, just super cool and appealing to the youth.
Even our lives could be in jeopardy.
This is great. Not only is it a super technological fly, it has a tiny little LED screen on it. Makes me think of if you owned a Dreamcast, you'd put the memory card in the controller, and the little screen was on the memory card, like a little VMU is what they called it.
It's the size of one of the pixels the day that these came out. Like,
yeah. So Scrap Iron designed this amazing piece of technology. I guess they didn't think that. I mean, like, I'm having trouble believing Cobra Commander can either see or hear anything that's happening based on the fact that the screen is the size of a thumbnail, a literal thumbnail.
It is working beautifully.
Scrap Iron's weird smile. Cobra Commander's not even actually sitting on anything in that picture. He's just sitting on air, which is actually a pretty baller move.
we need those on T-shirts. That needs to be the PulseCon shirts.
To construct our new leader out of DNA molecules taken from history's greatest conquerors.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Throw your imagination back to a time where somebody had to explain what DNA was. Before Jurassic Park, dinosaurs. Genghis Khan. These 4 and some other people you've definitely probably heard of. I like that the cape is part of the DNA.
Yeah. Hey, he's committed. Capes as long as you're not dreaming.
Cobra Commander wastes no time. He's immediately like, no, we're not going to do that. Let's go in a different direction where I kill you all. Storms in. This throws back to when we were looking at the other 5-parter. Crimson Guards here seem to be loyal to Cobra Commander, even though Tomax and Zaymod are like in on the meeting part of this. Scrap Iron really steps into a power play in this miniseries. It very rarely gets this much time.
That design of the Crimson Guard really is incredible.
Yeah, it rules.
It's growing on me. When I first saw them, I was like, it's fine. Now I'm like, those are pretty sick.
Wait till you see the movie. There's some good Crimson Guard stuff in the movie.
Misjudge me if you think I'm motivated solely by selfishness. Why should we war among ourselves when we have G.I. Joe for a common enemy? In fact, I order you to create this perfect Cobra leader, so I too may follow him to.
Oh man, talk about a mistake. You're gonna regret that for a whole season and then some, my man.
Cobra Commander, you're not really gonna throw in with those traitors, are you?
Of course not, you half-wit. Is this the face of a patsy?
Well, it's not. I don't know.
Kind of hard to
Actually,
tell.
it's actually the face of a Pac-Man villain, if you ask me.
I don't even have eyebrows to go off of. It's really hard to determine your mood.
It is. It's really hard to read.
Like a pathetic puppet, I shall become an even greater power behind the throne.
This is a pretty risky power play. He thinks he can bend Serpentor to just be like his own personal Snake Eyes, his little trooper de la jour.
They just forgot what it takes to stay that way.
Attention! A Cobra Knight Raven has breached North American...
Hey, Snake Eyes.
Hey, there's
It's nice.
Snake Eyes.
It's weird that you've only rarely been in this, seeing as how you're basically the face of the whole property. So another thing I like about the cartoon actually is that he's not the Wolverine, basically.
Yeah.
Bogey sighted at 3 o'clock. Moving in for a look-see.
A Joe conquest on our tail. Coming drone.
Heck yeah.
They even replaced the Sky Striker.
I love seeing all this new stuff. It's actually refreshing. Like,
I love the Conquest. It's such a great vehicle design. And the Night Raven's incredible.
yeah, these are both amazing. It's cool to see the actualization of the Night Raven, like just how it would work, how it would fight. This is how we kind of imagined it with the drone and everything. It's you see it used in a lot of different ways.
It's like a 2-on-1.
I've seen people use the drone as like a self-automated thing. It doesn't even have to have a person in it. Like, people got some cool ideas. Yeah.
Looks just like
Wow.
the toy.
So easy. Just do it with them too, right? Yep, pretty much. Wow.
I love a cookout, but not if I'm the main course.
I love a cookout, but the charred body of those Strato Vipers is pushing it.
Hey, look! A Cobra message pod.
You said Cobra Message Pod?
That's what it sounded like, yeah.
Social media before it was social media.
And a roll of
Piece of gold.
He found a geocache.
Yeah. Dear Sally, the last letter you sent me left me unhearted and shipwreck.
Contract between Sartan and Cobra regarding a mission so important. Sartan is asked to bring in for backup support his brother and sister, Sandar and
Yes.
Zorana.
Xandar! Woo!
Sartan is also
He still
recruiting
exists.
At least one more dreadnought. Whatever that mission
Yeah, right. A true rare sighting.
This here is Zartan's very heavy down payment. And we've got to find out.
Why don't you just take that gold and use it as a down payment to pay Zartan to work for you to knock all this out?
2, 3. Now what do you got in mind? Infiltrate Sartan's camp and find out what this secret mission is all about.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the first annual audition for membership in our small but elite
I want somebody to make every one of those guys into
Yeah.
figures.
collective IQs. I've made the rules simple.
It is weird. Sorry.
The end of the audition
It is weird that we've always had Crimson Guards, Alley Vipers, regular Vipers, Pit Commandos, green shirts. They've never made a generic Dreadnought pack. Or, just like, make a Dreadnought, give him like 10 customizable pieces so you can kind of build your own. Wardrobe's not very complicated. The add-ons with the accessories could be their weapon of choice. I think that would actually be a really cool idea. And it's something that really needs to happen. The Dreadnoughts, are at least the size of a biker gang. And even if you pull every unique Dreadnought, you probably only got 25 to 30 tops. So,
I mean, you could give him like a mechanic outfit. That way it looks more uniform.
yeah.
Less
and
things you have to switch.
there would be a ton of reuse for that type of stuff also, I think. Maybe I don't know. I feel like if maybe Marauder's Task Force line had a little bit more variety in that way, like casual wear, that you could knock it out pretty simple. But anyway, here's another $1 million idea I'll just give to the customizing community out there, or it'll pop up in 3 months, and then I'll be like, well, I'm glad they made it, but I guess I should stop just throwing them out there for free. Monkey wrench.
And that will be me, mister. Yeah, well, you'll be the first
I've got grenades. I'm not going down.
Between the two of you, I own a figure of one of them, so that's who my money's on.
There you go. All those guys have blue shirts. Give them that shirt.
A couple of A-frames, no problem. Jeans.
Yeah.
Whoa!
One has a crop top.
Of course it's cheating, you nit. What did you expect?
He literally said there's no rules. So he's not cheating. You can't cheat. There's no rules.
Sportsmanship? All right, fellow. What's your name?
You can call me Monkey Wrench. Me hobbies are heavy metal, unprovoked mayhem,
This is one of like 5 times that Monkey Wrench has ever said anything.
As opposed to the quiet explosions that are so common.
Welcome to the Dreadnought. I believe you are premature, sir. There is
It's Thrasher.
suitable for the position of new Dreadnought, and that is me. Thrasher.
Well, ain't you the one?
Quite so. And I also
Thrasher has got to be one of the most memorable vehicle drivers out there. I mean, I would consider him a more fundamental member of the Dreadnoughts than Monkey Wrench, technically.
my intelligence, a quality your present Dreadnoughts lack totally.
He looks super cool. He looks like he came right out of a Mad Max movie.
Yeah.
Plus the green hair is a nice touch.
I love how in some shots Zartan's hood looks like hair.
Yeah.
Ice and freeze. Jones, what do you want?
You are gonna tell us about your secret mission.
They actually have a copy of that, Zorana. You can hang on to it. Oh. Okay. I guess you have the other half then. I wasn't paying attention. Sergeant Slaughter is a doo-doo head.
Who's dumb enough to write that?
In the tombs of some of history's most infamous conquerors.
What the heck for?
Looks like that information went up in smoke. Huh?
Thrasher is so confident that he's going to make the team, he's actually already put Cobra logos on the Thunder Machine. So it's literally like a make or break scenario for him. You're going to let me on or else.
Yeah, he's mortgaged the house for this opportunity. He's...
For your insolence, Zartan, but instead, to prove my worth, I'll destroy your enemies. Agreed? Finish them, and you
Oh, well, then he never joins.
I should mention that we're actually more like a sublet of Cobra. We're really our own group that works for them when they need us.
Yeah.
That's cool that you got brand loyalty. Maybe they'll sponsor you in the Daytona. Definitely, probably not Zartan's base, right? Just a random cabin in the middle of the woods located less than 1 mile from where they were standing. Definitely not other dreadnoughts in there.
Whatever will happen.
How will they survive? Well, let's just watch the preview. Hey, Napoleon, Alexander, Vlad Tepes. All right.
I like the, some of them are, generally looked at as, bad guys, but then, half of them, aren't.
This is a rad preview. It's like, hey, we're in the snow. Hey, there's a ghost. Hey, we're in the desert. This is classic.
Hey, these guys we can shoot.
Yeah, that's the October Guard. I hate to spoil that, but since they showed it. This is classic Buzz Dixon, Rod Freeman formula. We talked about this in the last one. We're making 5 parts. Oh, there's a...
This is gonna be the best looking bike.
They actually included it.
I don't feel so good.
Hey, Ezra,
Dial
don't you
tone?
know you're not supposed to use
Yeah.
spray paints without lots of fresh air?
Dial tone.
All paints, and especially spray paints, have poisonous gases in them. If you breathe too much...
But if you breathe just a little, it's A-okay.
Before you start any
Just sniff it real lightly.
Yeah.
Now we know.
And knowing is is half the battle.
I'm shocked that this is included in the YouTube version of this because we talked at great length about how they pulled them apart.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this credit sequence myself in quite a while. I mean, which is, of course, just consists of other episodes from season 2, but still. Yeah, this is like kind of surprising for me. I wonder where they pulled this source. I don't want to get sidetracked on this, but I'm always very curious on the state of this raw video. I actually honestly believe I honestly believe that these YouTube videos that they've been uploading are better quality than the DVDs that I had been sourcing normally based on my comparisons. That's a conversation for another day. Anyway, that's the end of part 1 of Rise of Serpentor Rise. It's weird that these don't have individual name episodes, or at least they're not here. They don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jared, unpack that a little bit for me. There's a lot of stuff happening. They're setting a lot of stuff up. We've seen a lot of new characters. Do you have any thoughts or feelings about the this is the people you are seeing, generally speaking, are going to be the characters that populate season 2 the most?
Yeah. So like Falcon's in it, and Beachhead, and I mean, there's a lot of characters that we had not been seeing in what we have watched so far. So that's incredible, and people that aren't in the comics obviously as well. So seeing it is really fun, like looking and knowing now. Like okay, yeah, they made one intro, so obviously they're gonna have all that stuff in there. But like, I can just imagine being a kid and like as you're watching it and you're seeing a giant golden snake guy like flying around on a bigger golden snake thing, like how excited that would make me. Because like, I mean, I have the classified figure. I have one of the like the 25th or 50th, whichever one that they did. Got the figure of Serpentor, but I don't know anything about Serpentor, so this will be really fun to experience. And I like that they don't just like, hey, we're making him, he's made, there you go. Like they actually kind of expand upon it, and I mean, he's coming, but seeing the kind of twists and turns along the way is really fun.
It's nice because they have the foresight of being like, the entire season 2 is going to focus on Serpentor as the new like head of Cobra. So yeah, they don't basically have to rush it. We don't see Serpentor basically until the very end because it's all supposed to be a setup for the entirety of the season. We don't see a lot of stuff like that in animation anymore, so I do think it's really fun to just kind of take your time and lead into it. Buzz Dixon and Ron Freeman, they like I said, they follow this formula of 5 parts, 5 environments, 5 pieces, etc., etc. And I think that works great as a kid because it gives you 5 different environments. You've got 5 different teams. It was a great way to make you want to buy more G.I. Joes because you had something going on in every part of the world. But it was brilliant. It was smooth thinking. So yeah, that is the end of part 1 of Rise of Serpentor Rise. We will probably take a week off and do some normal news and come back and pepper these in as we can as we work our way up to the movie, which I'm very excited about. If anything, knowing how you like G.I. Joe, I think you will like Serpentor even more because he's just so outrageous. He's very over the top. He has lots of catchphrases and goofiness. But the movie, I think, is what it's really gonna. I think the movie's gonna. You're gonna be a real champion of that. And Lord knows we need more G.I. Joe animated movie fans out there to pick up the torch and carry it on. So,
and it's cool that with G.I. Joe, with the comic coming out, I mean, I guess spoiler, but not really spoiler, Serpentor's still playing a big part. And that's the first thing that I've been able to be a part of at the beginning. I started in at 301 with everybody else. We're reading new G.I. Joe stories. We get to see, now I'm getting to go back and seeing the history of Serpentor, and then knowing now and seeing what they're doing with him now, even though, I mean, he is Serpentor, but he's not Serpentor, but he is. So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, now more than ever, Cobra Law is as relevant as possible. So I think it's a good time for a rewatch for me, which you'll never hear me complain about. I've watched this movie a lot, and a great experience to live vicariously through you watching it for the first time. So yeah, we'll continue on the road. I wanted to knock these 5-parters out also. The comic I feel weird about jumping around on because the continuity is so much more straightforward. But with the cartoon, once we get through this, I feel like you can watch any of them in any order at all, and it doesn't really matter. There's not a lot of stuff that's permanent in it. And the stuff that is the stuff that we're watching now, just to kind of put the anchors down. Let me know what you think about Serpentor, The Rise of Serpentor Rise. You can leave a comment here in our YouTube section. You can email us directly at anythingjoespodcast@gmail.com. You can reach out to us on Twitter or Instagram at anythingjoespod, and we would love to hear from you. What was your introduction to Serpentor like? We'll talk about it on another episode, but I have a lot of memories of figuring out how to integrate Serpentor into my G.I. Joe universe and it not mess everything else up. And I would like to hear stories on that as well. Did Serpentor take over for a while when you were playing as a kid? Did you make him and Cobra Commander work together, or was it just a flat out he's off the board completely from the get go? Or maybe you just didn't have him. Like every time there would be a character that was important, I'd be like, yeah, that guy's on a mission somewhere. He'll be here for Christmas. We're really hoping he'll be here for that Christmas mission. We'll be back in 2 short weeks. We're going to catch up on some classified news and some other stuff that's cooking. Some G.I. Joe comic talk also probably. Yes, that has been pretty fast and furious. And we look forward to talking to you then, because anything's available for discussion here on Anything Joe.
Louisiana love me, baby, Sunbow. Yeah, the hero was me, baby, Storm Shadow. Yeah, that's why y'all fear me, baby. Got a lot of Joes. You got none, come and share me, baby. G.I. Joe. Got my comic book, watching cartoon episodes. Watch me go in box, dead stock, Jaren on his toes. Watch me going like a whole new world you never know. On my freaking block, anything.